So why you should take up a career in HR, or is HR the place to be, is one interesting topic for which a lot of students have got in touch with me over the last couple of weeks. So I thought, let me seize the moment and actually talk about this today. So in this video actually I'm going to talk about 6 reasons or 6 key points on why you should take up a career in HR. So let's begin with the first point, which actually is a very, very interesting World Economic Forum report, which actually talks about how the whole landscape of jobs and the skill sets is going to change in the coming years. So it's a 2017 report of World Economic Forum, which actually talks about something called Industrial Revolution 4.0. And when I say Industrial Revolution 4.0, it actually means that the whole world is actually going to get influenced a lot by digital interventions. And what will happen to the jobs in the coming days, and what is going to happen to the skill sets accordingly. So what are those jobs that will actually become redundant or will not remain? What are some of those jobs that will actually be new jobs or get newly introduced in the whole landscape? And what are going to be those jobs which are going to be stable? The good news is, in terms of stability, the report very clearly talks about human resources being one of the functions or the areas which is going to be pretty stable even with so much of digital coming into play. And a large portion of that is obviously because not everything will get digitized. You still need a lot of emotions and you need a lot of care for people at the end of the day. Digital is not really going to replace that. So the study actually categorically calls out roles like HR specialist, organization development specialist, culture and people specialist as some of the roles which will either be very, very stable or will get introduced with a tinge of digital aspects coming into play. So these jobs are not going anywhere. These jobs are going to be there and are going to be critical in the coming days. The second reason why you should take up a career in HR is actually a function where you can actually work across different industries. So it's not really an industry dependent function, which is a case in a lot of other jobs sometimes. So in case of HR, you can actually work across any industry for that matter. Think about automobile, think about FMCG, think about software, IT industry, think about a startup. And pretty much you can move from one industry to the other. I'm not saying in all the cases, but in most of the cases, you can actually move around different industries. So the only difference there happens is the context changes. Or if you're working within the company, you can actually work across different areas of HR. Right? So different areas of HR is also something which makes it very, very interesting. You can work from anything starting from staffing, recruitment, you work as an organization development specialist, you work in culture space, talent management, HR generalist in a factory, or in a sales HR role. You can do so many things within the HR role itself. So that offers a long-term career. That offers a very much a long-term career. And if you think about a career which spans across 30 years or 40 years, thinking about moving across industries and also working on different areas of HR, actually you have a long-term career here. You have so many choices in front of you that you can work on. So multiple careers is something which makes it very, very interesting, and multiple industry exposures give you a very long-term perspective on a career here. The third piece is actually a very interesting one. If you like to solve business problems, then HR is for you. You heard it right. It's not people problems, it's business problems. Because business problems will always supersede people problems. A lot of times I hear people say, oh, I want to make a career in HR because I love people. Yes, that's a great reason to be in HR. But if you like to solve business problems and you want to really understand how a people problem actually could impact that business result, and you are able to solve that, that makes it very, very interesting. If that is something that you enjoy, definitely it's a career that you should be interested in. So think about business first. People obviously is a subset of that itself. Typical example, business is not growing beyond a certain point could be related to a business issue or a people issue as well. So being a smart HR professional, you would actually work around, or you would know very well that what could be those potential people problems. It could be a skill issue, it could be a talent availability issue, or it could be a cultural issue, it could be a teamwork issue in the team, right? So there could be various reasons. So if you know how to actually bring that whole element of people in a business problem and quickly relate to understanding that and solve the problem with high level of ambiguity. I always say that high level of ambiguity, because a lot of times sales is very, very numeric, right? Sales is what you sell, you see it in front of your eyes. But a people improvement plan or a training that you do, will it actually result in something, delivering results for you? Something which will always be a debate. So there will be a lot of ambiguity in what you do. And so if you're comfortable with that element of ambiguity, then again this is going to make it something very, very interesting. The fourth reason I believe is, if developing people or if making people successful is something that gives you a high, then again this is a career that you should look for. And I mean it when I say that, because it has to come from the heart. It has to truly come from your heart, that you are able to put your interests behind and have people in front of that. And you are able to look at people as being somebody who can actually develop people, who can improve the lives of people. And it could be through various interventions that you can do in your HR career. There are so many things that can be done there. So that makes it so interesting. And if you are able to do something which actually is going to help them from a capability standpoint, because people being capable is something where you actually make a big difference as a HR professional. Last but not the least, this is again a fairly interesting one. So if you like to be a person who actually wants to do the right thing and does not shy away from taking tough decisions when required, again it's a career that you should look for. HR roles will almost always in your career, a lot of times, will throw a lot of difficult challenges. And we can do a separate video and talk about some of those challenges, at least from my career I can share with you, where you will be in two minds. You will be in a catch-22 situation, as we call it. And when you believe that you are somebody who can take those tough decisions, and those tough decisions in all contexts you know very well is a right or a wrong decision, is something that becomes so critical for the success of the organization. So you got to be comfortable with taking tough decisions. And of course from day one you may not have that skill set and you can develop it over a period of time, but this is a very, very important element of why HR is a career that you should take up, because this is something which will keep coming up again and again and again in your career. So this is what I had for you today, and wanted to keep it short and simple so that it stays in the minds of people on why HR is the next big thing, or why you should take up HR as a career. So with that I would actually leave it there and wish you a great evening. Stay safe, stay healthy.